We have the fire element as always. We have the dragon energy. We are saging ourselves with dragon's blood. I always add that's a plant, not a real dragon. Just cleanses everything, cleanses the area, cleanses the air, keeps the internet connection strong, cleanses the drum, cleanses the room, cleanses me, cleanses you, cleanses the aura, invites only in. Beings of light are only allowed here. Beings of beautiful light. Everything else is excluded, removed. We are protected by the dragons. Today we're going to reconnect with our dragons. That's what the dragons think about. A twin flame, look at that. Beautiful. Okay, put this to the side. The smoke move around the room. To the east and the south and the west and the north and the fire and the water and the earth and the air. Calling on the powers to protect this moment, this now, this recording, this shamanic journey, and all those, the journey within. So be it. The energy feels like it needs a bit of a cleansing, so a good way to do that is to play the drum. So I'll do that for a few moments. Call on the dragon energy and Isis. Doesn't really come through over Zoom, but it really reverberates through your whole aura. Clear it away. And you'll see that thumbs up. Perfect. So what we're doing today, so many of you know that I talk about dragons a lot, but this is not the one where we talk about dragons a huge amount. This is where we talk about shamanism and how shamanism heals us. And we just happened to had on the list of things we were going to talk about, how to connect with your dragons. And when we first put this together months and months ago, the dragon talks hadn't started, and the dragon hadn't occurred, and the dragon runes hadn't been birthed. So a lot has occurred in the beginning, well, January through to now, around dragons. So I think the first time I actually did this journey for people to meet their dragons was nearly 3 years ago. And very rarely do I actually do it live now, because there's a recording which you can see. I think something like 1,000 people have been through it now, which is amazing. And nearly every day I get a message from people telling me the colour of their dragon, the name of their dragon, the flu of their dragon, insights that their dragon gave them, how they're feeling protected by their dragons, and yeah, they're a powerful energy. So what I want to do is pretend no one knew about dragons at all, and just sort of take us through the process of reconnecting with our dragons. I say reconnect because we've all at a soul level had a relationship with angels and guardian angels and dragons and many other animals, power animals. And dragons are one of those beautiful entities that are there to assist us and look after Mother Gaia. So today we're just going to go on a journey later on, but I wanted to give you a little bit of background about the dragons and just sort of get it into your mind. So if you've never met one, hopefully you'll get to meet one today. And if it doesn't happen today, I always say, don't worry about it. Come back another day when the energy is clearer wherever you are, or the energy is better for you, or the fact that your dragon was busy doing something else on some crusade and it heard the call but it didn't get back to you in time. So don't beat yourself up if it doesn't happen. And we don't all necessarily see our senses. We've got many different senses, so you may just feel, or you may hear, you may smell, you might touch a dragon, you may not necessarily see it. Not everyone sees them. So these webinars or more meetings started a while back, and they're all of them, all the recordings are available on my blog. And as you can see, we've been through quite a few different ones. Dismemberment was quite a powerful one, obviously ancestral healing, aura cleanse, soul retrieval, all the others are all there available for you on my blog. So have a catch up if you haven't seen them all. And today we're going to do reconnect with your dragons. Next one after that, we're doing shamanic tools. Then we're doing shamanic breath work. And I've still not had any ideas from anyone what they'd like to hear in December or next year. So if you've got any ideas, don't be shy, put it forward, and if it's something I can share with you, I definitely will. And if not, then well, we'll make something up near the time. And that's meant to be a representation of me being a lot longer, having a little chit chat with one of my dragon friends. And often now when I connect with my dragons, and I often do in the lower realms, sometimes in the higher realms, sometimes sitting around an oak tree, I do actually see them a bit like that. And your dragons might be huge, they might be small, and you can actually ask them to present themselves in a way that's easier for you. And sometimes they'll even transmute into a human if you want to. And I think I've got a picture later on of one where the lady's got a bit of a dragony sort of English face and the rest of it. So welcome to those people that are joining us. Let me just get going. So this is the one. So sometimes one of my dragons will appear as sort of like a dragon lady, not necessarily looking like this, but this is sort of a representation that AI created for me, which I think is quite beautiful. It's quite powerful. So what I want to do first, I always like to say, let's all just get present. We've all got loads of things we could be doing, and it's beautiful that you're here. So let's all just ask our brains to shush for a little bit, shush for the next hour. Stop the judging, stop the thinking, all the to-do lists. bring your intention into your heart space. And somebody was asking the question about it the other day, like, is it actually physically in your heart? And actually, it's not physically in your heart. There's like a space, a spiritual space that encompasses your physical heart. So you can imagine yourself there. You're not necessarily in that beating muscle that's pounding away. It's more the energy center, the sort of the chakra of your heart. You feel your energy in there. If everyone just does that, it just gets the mind to go. It just brings you here to this moment. So I find if we go on shamanic journeys and we're in our head and it's too busy, it just doesn't work. You have to be in your heart space. So just bring yourself there. Just have a couple of breaths. Beautiful. And just sing to yourselves. Beautiful. I don't know if you can feel it. I can always feel it. I can just feel the energy just go, oh, it calms down. And you just feel it. It's beautiful. Okay, beautiful. So I'm just going to give you a little bit of education. Try not to bore you too much. But I want to talk about the word dragons and explain to you that it's actually been around for a long time. And science started calling what many people call dinosaurs. Those previously were called dragons. And dragons is noted in the Christian Bible something like 34 times. I don't know what other beautiful books it's in. I'm sure it's in many. But I just want to sort of say, it's only recently that in the last 100 years we started talking about the fabled things called dinosaurs. Before that, everything was called dragons. Dragons to our ancestors were as real as a cat and a dog are to us. And it's just over time, a bit like the witches. I often talk about witches and dragons in the same breath. That reputation of has been split around, that they're bad and evil and terrible, and they're not. Dragons are much like angels. That's the way I would only describe them, really. And dragons live now, not necessarily physically in our reality, but more spiritually in our reality. And that's why we go on shamanic journeys and we go through the veil to the lower realms or the upper realms or into this realm. And it's going through that veil, and that's where we see them a lot more easily. Asking the dragons to come into our physicality is harder for them. Though they are there, but they're not. It's very hard for them to be physical. That's what I found. So in many ways, your dragon will be more of a spirit. Yeah, and that's why we go on the shamanic journeys, just to go through that veil. It makes it a lot easier for them to connect. And the more they connect with you, the more they'll come through in this reality. And I find that in this reality, I very rarely see a fully physical dragon. I've probably seen it a couple of times. I see it more like an image in the clouds or an image in the rock formation, or I look into the water and I sort of see a shadow that looks like a dragon, and then I just sort of I hear them more in my mind. Yeah. So don't think that necessarily a huge great big dragon is going to land like the size of a double-decker bus in your back garden. It's probably unlikely, but it could happen. I mean, it did happen to me when I was out riding my horse. So yeah, I mean, I first met dragons in this lifetime that I remember. My mum says that I used to talk about them as a kid all the time, and the lions and the horses' heads and all that, but I don't actually remember the dragons. But I was out riding my horse, big, great big Shire horse, really strong and powerful and not afraid of anything. And she wouldn't go past this particular place, and I sort of summoned my energy and like, who's there? And this huge big, what I think is probably a water dragon appeared and just sort of stood looking at me. And it was that point that I was like, I could probably need to look into this dragon thing a bit more. And fast forward, they're there in my life all the time, and I assist them a lot. They also come into my shamanic healings, and as you can imagine, they're very powerful. Physically very strong, spiritually very strong, very, very healing. And that's where I connect to them the most in my shamanic healings. And they come in and assist. Very good at releasing energies and pulling out entities and things like that. If you want to meet your dragons any other time, you can watch this replay, but there's also meetyourdragons.com, which was the very first one I did, I'll say nearly 3 years ago. I think nearly 1,000 people have seen that. That's a little course that's basically broken down the whole process of like a 2-hour journey into individual sections. So if you want to sort of get the background and get your mindset right before you go on the journey, it's a very good one to do. And it was the dragons that basically suggested I did that. So, and that whole journey of the dragons has got to the point now where in the beginning I thought I was mad because I saw a dragon. Now people call me mad. I just like, yeah, whatever. I know there's dragons out there. I know there's dragon energy. It's not necessarily going to see a physical dragon in this reality, but they're definitely there. And I see them as my guides. I see them as my protectors, and I see them as holders of ancient wisdom. There's dragon ley lines. There's dragons you can connect with that are of the elements. There's so many different dragons, and I'm sure if you've been on any of the Dragon Talks, you'll get to see all the different speakers and how they all see a different view of how the dragons have helped them. So the dragons, for me, came in and just basically have almost used me now. I wanted to use the word channel a while ago, and I was like, no, I can't say that, but they do. They use me as a channel. So they asked me to create that course. They got me to write Fly with Dragons, a book that basically just introduces dragons to people. They got me to host the Dragon Thunder Summit, and some amazing speakers were put forward by basically by the dragons. I didn't chase people down, people came forward. Now we host the Dragon Talks each month, and a couple of people come on each month and talk about dragons. And this last Sunday we had Nicola talking about healing the land, and she was at Tintagel and St. Nectans, and then we had the dragons, what was it, the violet flame dragons. That was very powerful. And all of these we do for free, and they're available to people. And then during and before and during the summits and the rest of it, and all these people I was talking to about dragons, I think I met nearly 50 people that all talk about dragons all the time, which is amazing because I thought there was only a handful of us. Now I realise there's many. The runes, the dragon runes started coming through. And I've now got some physical runes, which is beautiful. I've got some, there's a website where you can go and see them, but I'm not pushing those today. I'm doing that as a separate thing. They came through. So, reconnection with your dragon. As I say, I think we've all got a guardian angel. I think we all believe in guardian angels. I also believe that nearly every single one of us has had some sort of dragon friend, and maybe your guardian angel is a dragon. And I say reconnect, not saying this is like the first time you've met them. Your soul already knows your dragon. And that's why you need to be in your heart space, out of your head. Don't think of all the stories that you know from the news and you know from all the books and all the fables about dragons. Forget those. Those aren't who the dragons are. Think of them more as guardian angels. It's probably the best way to connect. And they may look like a dragon if you get to see them. They may look like a dragon like that, as a Chinese one. They may look like a snake, or they may appear to you, as I say, as almost a humanoid form. Don't worry too much about what they look like. Feel more into their essence, their energy, their healing, their aura. Imagine if you were to meet the Buddha or Christ, and the angelic feeling you'd get when you truly meet a dragon and connect with it. It's the energy is as strong as that. It's very powerful. It's a bit like meeting an angel Gabriel or something. When you truly connect with your dragon, and it can take a while. It's like anything, it's a relationship. Don't expect to like go on one journey and that's it, and that's it. Amazing. It's almost like a long relationship, a friendship, where you get to trust each other. So let's go on a journey to reconnect with our dragons. Stop the share. Like that. Perfect. There you all are. I can see you now. So what we're going to do is we're going to go on a journey to the lower realms. So if you guys have been on a shamanic journey before to lower realms, you understand how that works. For those people that have never been on one, what it is the lower realms is another reality. So in shamanism, we have the above, the middle, and the lower realms. In the lower realm, you can think of as an extremely safe place. We travel there with our free soul. So we use our imagination, and we keep our physical bodies here where we are, and we imagine that our free soul, that's the part of us that can go wherever it wants to, and you use your imagination to travel. And what we'll do is I'll walk us through Dartmoor, and we'll go through the moors and through the forest and past the oak trees. We'll come to a stone circle, which is physically in this reality, and I go there often, and the energy is very strong there. And the course that 1,000 people have been to all go through this point. It's called an Axis Mundi, and it's basically just a portal to the lower realms, and a staircase will open, and all you do is in your imagination you walk down the staircase. You'll walk maybe through a cave or something. Your world will look different to everyone else's. So some people will come into a desert, some people will come into a seascape, somebody might come into a forest, somebody might come into, who knows. It'll be your imagination, and the important thing is to believe it's real, and don't think about it too much. Stay in your heart, stay in your heart chakra. And the important thing about any of these journeys is the intention. And if you go down there with the intention, it's a bit like going to a fairground. You're not, what should I do first? So your intention is to go down the steps to the lower realm and reconnect with your dragon guide, your dragon spirits. And there might be more than one. There might be just one. You may see them, you may smell them, you may hear them, you may sense them. It might just be dark and you might just hear a whisper. But also, if you do get to meet your dragon, have in mind something that you would like a healing with. So let's make it a healing journey. So go with the intention of something to say to your dragon. It's beautiful to reconnect with you. I've got this thing in my life. Can you assist me with it? And hopefully they'll say, of course. Or they might say, well, let's work on that. And you might have to go back a few times. But this journey will be encoded and you can replay it, and it's available forever. The energy is stored within it. Yeah? Everyone good? Perfect. So just get yourselves truly, truly comfortable. Lay down, close your eyes. It's always good to close your eyes. It just helps the imagination. If you're looking around you, it just confuses you sometimes. Beautiful. So just get yourselves in a good place. Remember that when we get to the point where you travel down, your intention is to meet or reconnect with your dragon guide. And then once you meet them, just ask them to assist with some element of your life, either give you wisdom or healing. So I'm just going to call in the directions of the east, the south, the west, and the north. Call the elements of fire, water, earth, and air. Call on Mother Earth, Gaia, to lend us her wisdom and protection. Call upon those archangels, Michael, Gabriel, Uriel, Raphael. I call in my shamanic temple all my guides to protect us on this journey. And I invite only beings who love us. I invite only beings of highest light to attend. I ask my dragons and all my temple to protect us from all those who do not have unconditional love in their heart for us. Remember, when you travel to the lower realms, you're like a super person. You can walk on water, you can run fast, you can fly, you can breathe underwater, you can talk dragon. So just enjoy it. And when I start drumming, that's when you can go down, and then I'll do a recall So I'll go for 20 minutes, there'll be about a minute recall, and you can come back at the speed of light, don't worry. If you get stuck, I'll come and find you. So just to make sure, I invite only beings of the highest light who love us unconditionally. This is a safe space. So imagine for me now, I'm going to go on a little journey. We're all now standing as a group on Dartmoor. It's a bit like today, it's a beautiful sunny day. One of those rare days in England where the sky's blue, not a cloud in sight. When you look around you, you can just see a vast expanse of beautiful, brilliant green. It rains a lot here, so the grass is gorgeous. You can see yellow sways of dandelions. And right next to us, there's a bush of blackberries. They're really ripe and ready to eat, so maybe you want to taste one now. Get those taste buds going. You can probably smell, if you're very, very good, the pine of the forest nearby. If you listen, you can hear the sheep and the cows calling to each other as they munch the luscious green grass. And above you, you might see a seagull that's popped in from the sea, and the coast is nearby. Maybe a hawk floating on the air. Maybe you can see a rabbit running away from that hawk. We're going to start walking now uphill on a crunchy gravel drive, walking between the sheep and the cows, heading up the hill now, going through a gateway. Ensure we shut that so the sheep and cows can't go out. We're turning left between the pathway, heading up. We see some oak trees. As we walk past those, we acknowledge them, thank them for guarding the path. We get to a little Y junction and we turn left, heading uphill now through the pine forest. Those with keen eyes will see the ponies and the deer in the forest. If you turn on your magic third eye, you might see even more, maybe fairies, other mystical beings in the woods. You keep walking, nice steady pace. We're getting a little bit warm now, but that's fine. Cool breeze starts blowing on our face. Just ahead of us, we spy that clearing. We see our first glimpse of the ancient stone circle. With reverence now, we walk towards that stone circle. Between the two stones that are at the entrance, we walk through along the grassy path. We are now standing as a group in front of the stone circle. Let's now one by one walk around it in a clockwise direction. One of the stones in the circle will call you to just stand next to it. Put your hands on it. Feel its solidity. Feel its history of 5,000 years and all the things it's seen. Just stand and ground yourself now with that while I open the portal. Call on Mother Gaia to open the portal to the lower realms, to give us a beautiful stone staircase down into the earth, into the bowels of the lower realms. And call upon our dragon friends to meet us there. Okay, the portal is opening. I'll start drumming. I'll drum for 20 minutes. You enjoy the journey down to the lower realms. Remember, your intention is to reconnect with your dragon. When you find them, ask them to assist you with some wisdom or a healing for something in your life. When it's obvious it's time to come back, I'll let you know, and we'll come back to this circle. Enjoy. The portal is open. Start working your way down. Lay back slowly, no rush. Back up the stairs. I'll shut the portal. If you all just go and stand by your favourite stone, put your hands on the stones, just really ground yourselves. I want us all to imagine we all stand up from our stones and we start walking out, thanking the stone circle as we leave, walking back onto the gravel path, back down the hill, nice and easy because it's downhill, past the oak trees, through the wooden gate, past the sheep and cows, and then off of Dartmoor, back into this reality, back into our bodies. Wiggle the toes, move the ankles and the calves and the knees, and the thighs and the hips and the torso. Into your neck, back into your arms. A big stretch. Move your face and your jaw. Feel yourself come back fully into your whole body, into your mind. Switch your mind back on now. And open your eyes when you're ready. Welcome back. Did anyone meet anyone? Did anyone want to share anything? I'll give you a moment to think about it. You don't have to. Might have a drink.
Yeah, I'd like to share.
Please do.
I met a red dragon, and he was with me most of the time. But near the end, there was just a flash of white. A white dragon came in, so that was just a little bit of the healing that I needed to complete.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. It's beautiful to hear. It's always nice when they do connect and we get something good from it. What was that? Peter says, I didn't expect to meet a phoenix. Oh, wow. Embodiment. That's beautiful. Anyone else like to share? Chantel?
Thank you for that, Kevin. Thanks.
You're welcome.
And when I went down, it was amazing because it was like staying in the heart. That was so helpful, all the instructions that you gave. So thank you, because I have journeyed a lot, but it was really helpful, the instruction. And I basically ended up just sort of with the battle of the mind and the heart. of just sort of really when managing to sort of have that. And the drumming, I decided also to go for first. I don't know why that was something that came in to do. I just wanted to share that. But and when I went down to the bottom, I was in that distraction, and so then it was walking down the stairs, and so in the end I was just like, oh, I've just got to, so just threw myself. I just threw myself in the pool and just went down in the blackness, and it was really evident that it needed to be just the no thing, the nothing, and it was so beautiful. And I went into this blackness, and it felt like the energy of a black galactic dragon, of just sort of offering me this healing of nothing, of just no thing. And then I really understood that that's obviously what I need now, and what was needing to come in, which was amazing. And so then I was just wallowing in that, and then all of a sudden there was like blue electric flashes. So it felt like some kind of black dragon that then was similar to ICC, I don't know, the healing. And it was suddenly I realized it was all these electric shocks for my healing that I'd asked for, and it was that dragon. So I don't know, I'm going to look into sort of black with sort of, you know, the sapphire blue lightning. I'm sure you might know of one like that. Anyway, I'll have a look. And it was like it was electric. It was like I was getting these electric pulses in my heart that then were, because I'm really working on my whole chakra system and just really sort of doing a lot of healing. And it's like the connection, and that's what I was asking for. And so I got loads of electric shocks, but in a really lovely way. And so that was my journey. And I felt like sharing it because it was similar, that I had this healing that came in at the end. And so it was nice to, Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. Yeah. I like the fact you got electric shocks, but they were beautiful and healing.
It was really soft. And after Sunday, with connecting with the I'm forgetting the colour. How can I?
Violet flame.
Absolutely. And connecting with the violet flame dragons, they were so strong. That experience was so just sort of stepping into the realm of that energy. And so it allowed me, when the black dragon of no thing came in, I could palpably from that experience really feel the different flavour of this galactic black dragon. It was amazing. I was like, whoa, I really lushed out in that. So again, thank you, because obviously without you I wouldn't be having any of these experiences. So I'm so deeply grateful. Thank you.
You're welcome. And just do the bidding of the dragons, and they come and do all the beautiful work. It's great. And if anyone hasn't seen the violet flame dragon thing from the Dragon Talks on Sunday, highly recommend it. Beautiful. I went to sleep in this sort of cocoon of the violet flame. I can't explain it. Ever since then, I've sort of got these violet colours. My drinks all that colour. But very, very, very powerful.
She was so good at transmitting it. It was just so activating. It was amazing. So I'm totally full of that as well. Yeah,
it's all there for replay, and if anyone's not sure where it is, just send me a message and I'll send you the exact link. I'll be posting this, so I'll include it then, because we're talking about it. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. Anyone else want to say anything? Bonnie?
I will. You've always shown a lot of pictures of dragons, and I always thought they were all so beautiful, but every time you showed that all white one, I felt a special connection to that one. I just thought it was because I thought it was the most beautiful. And so today when you were showing them, I thought, again, they're all beautiful. But when you showed that white one, I thought, wow, I just felt a special connection. And as soon as you switched to another dragon, that connection was gone. So when we went into this, I found myself hoping that would be, the white one was the one that I would meet. And of course she was. And she looked at me and said, well, who else did you expect to meet? I've been talking to you all this time. Haven't you heard me? But she was there. And when we went down, my guide and my body protector went down with me. But when we met her down there, it's like they kind of turned me over to her in a kind of reverence. So when you say dragons are powerful, even they think that dragons are powerful. But what I felt like was that she was the connection. I have my whole lower realm developed, but she's like a connection to the lower realm, to the bigger picture. And so it was just really great being with her. And I was able to put on that white dress that I've danced around in a circle before and dance around with her, and her all white. Her name is Marya, spelled Marya, with almost like turquoise blue eyes. And I mean, she's just beautiful, but she's very powerful. She's very ancient, and she has a lot of ancient wisdom. And she said, we're going to meet again, and we're going to work on this wisdom again together. So I'm looking forward to that.
Wow. Thank you for sharing. It's amazing, isn't it? We get to a certain point where we've done lots of these journeys and you think, oh, I've done it all now, and then even more comes in. It's amazing. There's so much they share. They always surprise me how much they come in and assist people. Beautiful. Thank you, Bonnie. Anyone else want to say anything? You don't have to. We're getting lots of chat. Beautiful. But yeah, I'll send out the links to everything to everyone. I've got all of your email addresses and everything, so I'll send all those out. Cool. Perfect. So it's lovely to see you all. We're coming up to 3 minutes left, so I'm going to finish on time. We're, as I say, Dragon Talks. If you're into dragons, then Dragon Talks is the one to go and have a look at. The website is dragontalks.info. Actually, I'll type it in here. Talks.info. www. It'll go to my Jobby website basically. And there's, you're really into dragons, and there's going to be 2 dragon speakers each month. A lot of those that were in the Dragon Thunder Summit. And if you've not heard of the Dragon Thunder Summit, in July we had 30 people speaking about dragons, and then we've got one in July 2024 where we've got 24 hours of dragons. So we start in Australia doing 8 hours, then we come to the UK and do 8 hours, and then we go to the US and do 8 hours. So if you can stay up for the whole, I think it works out at 27 hours, which I'd probably try and do, then it'd be amazing. But obviously that'll all be on replay, and I know a lot of people are watching the replays slowly and surely, and it's extremely powerful. So if you thought the Violet Flame Dragon was powerful, take that, times it by 30, and at the end of it you're like, I had to follow the cord back to Earth a couple of weeks later. It was strong. It was good. Beautiful. So we go again in a month's time, and as I say, the Christmas slot on shamanism is free. So if someone's got something about the shamanism they'd like explained, then please let me know. Or if someone has got something they'd like to talk about that's related to shamanism, I'm more than happy for a guest speaker to come on and allow me to sit here and not have to do anything, which is even better. So let me know. Cool. Thank you for all the thank yous, and I wish you an amazing rest of your day, and I'm sure I'll get to see you all online, and I think, Bonnie, we're seeing each other tomorrow, aren't we, for the rest of our shamanic education. So I'll see you then. So beautiful to see you all. Love you all. Bye.